Well, welcome back. We're on page 3 now, and we're going to do 4 different graph practices. And for each one, we're going to make a table, plot our points, and we're going to do a whole bunch of labeling. The first thing you have to do when you're graphing a parabola or a quadratic function is you have to find the middle point. You have to find that vertex. And that's going to tell you where to make your table. So what we're going to look for is the axis of symmetry, and there is a formula. You could hunt around on your table, but the formula makes things go much, much faster. So the formula is x equals negative b over 2a. So now I'm going to plug in my numbers. So I have negative, b is 2 over 2, and our a number is our invisible 1. So if you put that in your calculator or do it in your head, you get negative 1. So that means when we make our table, the middle point on our table needs to be negative 1. Okay, those two match. So now I'm just going to count up 3 spaces, negative 2, negative 3. I'm running out of room. Negative 4, 0, 1, 2. So what we've just made now is our table. So now we go to our calculator, just like we've done before. I put this into my y equals. See, I put x squared plus 2x minus 5. And then you can always take a look. Now this graph, you can see before our quadratic was here at the origin. The vertex was at the origin. Now it's shifted over. It's shifted left and down a little bit. So that's why the table becomes super important. So now here's our table. We want our negative 1 in the middle. So I went up 3 above it and then 3 below it. So this is the table that I'm going to copy. 3, 2, 3, 2, negative. Now the nice thing with parabolas is since they have symmetry, for me at least, I just have to memorize the 4 numbers and then it just goes backwards from there. Okay. Now we're going to plot our points. Negative 4, 3, negative 3, 2. That seems awfully. Hold on 1 second. Oh, my bad. Look, that's a negative 2. I thought that seemed a little bit, as my son would say, a little bit. Oh, no. I don't want to clear the screen. I just want to erase that guy right there. Okay, so that should be a negative. Negative 3, negative 2. So when you're graphing these, if something doesn't look right, oh boy, sorry about this ugly U shape, chances are you just copied something wrong on the table. Now I could say y equals x squared plus 2x minus 5, but I'm going to be a little bit lazy and just say y equals f of x. Now I wanted you to label the vertex, axis of symmetry, so we'll start with those. Here's our vertex. Your vertex is the middle of your table. I'm just going to say a V for vertex, negative 1, negative 6. Our axis of symmetry is a vertical line, kind of sprouts up from the vertex right here. And that we're going to label always x equals, and remember, we figured that one out at the beginning, x equals negative 1. Now our y-intercept is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to label it 0, negative 5. Now, I wanted the x-intercepts labeled, but a lot of times they're not perfect whole numbers. So let's just circle them. There's one x-intercept, and there's another x-intercept. So now what I'd like you to do is try to duplicate this for letter B. So now to make things a little bit neater, because I do write pretty messy on here, I want to show you letter B all finished. I write much neater on paper than I do on a random hanging tablet. So I found my axis of symmetry, and I got 2. So then what I did was I went to y equals, and I typed this in. X squared minus 4x minus 1, and I put the 2 in the middle of my table. So let's take a look at my screenshots. Whoops. Come on. So here I put that in the y equals. There's my graph. And we said 2 was in the middle. So I counted 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. So that's the table that I copied. So let's take a look at what I've got now. Actually, looks like I did 4. You didn't have to do that. I was a little zesty with my copying, I guess. Okay, and then I plotted my points, and they're over here in green. I labeled my vertex 2, -5. I labeled my y, here's my axis of symmetry. My vertical line cuts the parabola in half. Here's my y-intercept, 0, -1, and then I circled my zeros. Okay, let's go to the next one. Pause this video, try them on your own, and then I will show you my answers. Okay, so letter C is a teeny bit trickier because we have -x squared plus 6. So my A is -1, but we don't have a B term, so it looks like this, plus 0x plus 6. If that was messing you up now, take a look at my axis of symmetry, -b over 2a. So 0 over 2 times -1, and I got 0 as the middle. Like I said, started to say, if that was holding you up now, pause this, see if you can finish up this problem, and then come back and check your work. So then I typed this into y equals, here's my table, and then I graphed and I labeled. If you're feeling comfortable, go ahead and try the next one. In this case, our C number is 0, and that doesn't do a thing to our problem. So my axis of symmetry here is a 1. So I put my 1 in the middle, and again, I went a little too far. You can always put more in your table. It's fine. But that's the minimum. That's what I want to see. And you can't graph the point -216 and 416 on our graph, so I put it on the table, but I didn't plot it. No big deal. Here's my vertex, my y-intercept, and my x-intercept. And then here's another one. And here's my axis of symmetry, x equals 1. We will do more practice on this, but as always, if you have questions, please ask.